We are taking your lake house for the summer. That 7-word text message sitting on my phone screen early on a Tuesday morning instantly turned my hot coffee into ice. Before I could even digest what I was reading, my family group chat lit up with endless heart emojis and cheering messages. Everyone was celebrating my sister's grand announcement as if she had just won an award, yet not a single person had bothered to ask if I was okay with it. If you enjoy stories about standing up to toxic family members, please consider subscribing to the channel right now so you never miss another upload. My name is Samantha Vance, and at 33 years old, I had spent my entire life playing the role of the quiet peacemaker. Working as a lead financial analyst in downtown Chicago, my days revolved around order, logic, and absolute silence. I lived alone in a neat apartment, and every weekend I drove 3 hours north to my quiet cabin in Michigan. That cabin was my absolute sanctuary, a charming wooden retreat tucked away near the calm water and tall pine trees. I bought that property 6 years ago with my own hard-earned savings after receiving a major career advancement that my family completely ignored. Out on that peaceful back porch, the morning fog made the entire world vanish, allowing me to finally breathe without any pressure. My cabin was the one place on earth where nobody expected me to bend over backward, just to keep everyone else happy. My family lived 6 hours away in Ohio, consisting of my parents and my younger sister Chloe along with her husband. Chloe was always the vibrant spotlight chaser who filled every room with loud energy, while my mother constantly reminded me that I was the sensible sibling. Sensible was just their polite word for completely invisible, a lesson I learned early in life when my sister got shiny new gifts while I had to fix my broken belongings by hand. As I grew older and built a successful financial career, my quiet nature turned into a free safety net for my entire family. Whenever their appliances broke down or car payments fell behind, I quietly stepped in to pay the bills, mistaking their endless demands for genuine affection. When I bought my lake house, giving my parents a spare key felt like a kind gesture because I dreamed of joyful family barbecues by the water. Over time, however, my generosity slowly transformed into an absolute expectation of total entitlement. The breaking point began weeks earlier during a family birthday dinner, where I gifted my sister an expensive skincare set. Chloe barely offered a quick thank you before loudly bragging about her recent office upgrade while my parents beamed with immense pride. When I mentioned my plans to spend my summer relaxing at my cabin or possibly renting it out, Chloe just offered a strange smirk that made me feel uneasy. Driving back to the city that night, a lingering sadness settled deep inside my spirit. When that group text finally exploded on my phone weeks later, my sister did not just suggest a visit, she claimed my entire summer home for herself. Within 2 minutes, aunts, uncles, and cousins were actively claiming bedrooms and planning fishing trips in my house without my permission. When I typed back explaining that I already had personal plans for my property, Chloe immediately labeled me selfish. My mother quickly told the group chat to ignore my protests, promising everyone that I would eventually surrender. Sitting at my desk, watching them dismiss my feelings so easily stirred something cold and incredibly sharp deep inside my heart. Later that afternoon, my close friend Nathan called to check on me after hearing about the chaotic group messages. When he asked what I intended to do about their pushy behavior, I realized I was finally finished staying quiet just to please them. That night, I scrolled through years of unpaid loans and one-sided favors, realizing their love was actually conditioned on my total submission. Instead of screaming or sending angry texts back, I decided to take absolute control of the situation with quiet efficiency. Around 2 in the morning, I hired a local security company and scheduled an emergency locksmith to meet me at the lake house. The next morning, I took 2 personal days off work and made the long drive north through the thick morning mist. I felt a tremendous sense of clarity washing over me as the familiar pine trees came into view. By noon, the locksmith had completely replaced every lock on the front doors and window frames, handing me the fresh keys. Shortly after, technical workers installed high-definition motion cameras all around the porch, driveway, and dock area. Connecting the security app to my cell phone gave me a strong sense of personal empowerment that I had never experienced before. I sat on the porch, wrote down every dime I had ever spent on them, and officially decided that my silent sacrifices ended today. When late May arrived, the family chat burst open with excitement as everyone coordinated their road trip up to my Michigan cabin. Sitting at my kitchen table in Chicago, I watched the live camera feed on my laptop screen as 4 vehicles pulled into my gravel driveway. Chloe leaped out of her SUV holding beach bags and marched toward the front door, triumphantly jingling her old key set. My entire extended family piled out of their cars, laughing and chatting loudly about their upcoming vacation. My heart rate stayed completely steady as I watched Chloe insert her key into the brand new deadbolt and struggle to turn it. Her husband tried his key next with the exact same failure, quickly causing their cheerful laughter to dissolve into visible frustration. When my father pointed out the glossy new security camera mounted above the porch, the entire family froze in complete shock. My phone immediately started ringing continuously with angry calls from my mother, sister, and brother-in-law, but I ignored every ring. When the group chat exploded with aggressive messages demanding access, I calmly typed a final message to the entire family. I informed them that the locks were changed, and any attempt to force entry would automatically alert the authorities for criminal trespassing. On the video monitor, I watched everyone pull out their phones simultaneously, and read my warning as total silence fell over the driveway. Chloe dropped her phone onto the grass while my mother pressed a hand to her chest in absolute disbelief. For 15 intense minutes, my relatives pointed fingers and argued among themselves right in front of the front porch. Eventually, they began bitterly tossing their luggage back into their trunks, slamming doors and kicking gravel as they backed out. Later that evening, my mother called my phone again, her voice shaking with rage as she accused me of acting cruelly toward my own blood. I simply replied that setting boundaries was not cruelty, and I officially ended my financial support by canceling every automatic transfer tied to my accounts. In the weeks that followed, the wave of aggressive messages slowly faded into guilt trips before stopping entirely. I spent the rest of the summer enjoying the crisp lake air, reading on the dock, and sleeping peacefully in my spotless sanctuary. Nathan visited often, and we spent quiet evenings watching the vibrant sunsets reflect across the completely still Michigan water. Removing myself from their constant demands allowed me to thrive at work, eventually earning a major promotion to senior director. A year later, my life looks completely transformed, and I am currently preparing to marry a wonderful man who deeply respects my boundaries. My mother occasionally calls to speak politely like a distant acquaintance, having finally learned that my generosity is not something she can demand. Boundaries are not meant to hurt other people. They are built to protect the peace and self-respect you worked so hard to build. If you enjoyed this journey, please check out the next video popping up on your screen right now for another incredible story.